I give the call to the member for Werriwa.
Can I congratulate the member for La Trobe, not just in the usual formal sense we do for bringing a resolution here, but for a persistent campaign around the subject. Clearly, we've heard from the previous speaker that he's had briefings in the Parliament. He's obviously been in close contact with the Minister, and one would think that the change in regards to rhinos has something to do with his activity. And this all arises from a constituent coming in and alerting the member about this issue. So I just want to very clearly congratulate him on all this activity. When I saw this resolution, I was first reminded of Nicolae Ceausescu, the despot of Romania, who was alleged to have killed 4,000 European brown bears during his reign, and to have received 270 gold medals, and these gold medals are apparently based on the type of kill you do. He had a rule apparently that nobody was allowed to kill more animals than him on any of the hunts, and he had a lot of the other Eastern Bloc leaders there for hunting trips. But back then what he used to do was apparently drug them so that all the animals were incapable of being missed. And I think this is a bit, in a sense, that's a more extreme version of what we're talking about. Obviously, the situation has a number of issues. The previous speaker referred to, I guess, brooding for exotic kind of strains, but there's also a very big danger of inbreeding. There's a situation of what they found, the concentration of diseases are accentuated during these breeding patterns. A situation where, as every speaker has said, the animals become very tame, they're not fearful, they're used to particular ways in which they're fed. So in actual fact, given the fact that they're also enclosed, it's a very one-sided struggle. The American hunter Ted Carasot said, "Canned hunting is a misnomer. More accurately defined as shooting animals in small enclosures, the activity has nothing to do with the motives that inform authentic hunting. Procuring healthy organic food, participating in the timeless cycles of birth and death, and nurturing, etc. No matter where one stands on hunting, vehemently opposed to it or seeing it as yet another way to live sustainably on Earth, one ought to decry shooting animals behind fences." Whilst we've had a concentration upon the question of, let's say, essentially impoverished southern African countries who need the dollars, in reading about this, I was also alerted to the growing practice in the United States. It's estimated that in any one year there are 1,000 instances of this, that animals that range between extinct in the wild and vulnerable, various classifications between those two. The Humane Society of America has said that a number of animals in those classes, a scimitar horned oryx, Nubian ibex, European bison, a number of others are subject to this in the United States. They're particularly concerned there, the Humane Society of the United States, about this issue of disease prevalence that I referred to. We've got a situation where we've got enough problems with poaching, the decline of the rhinoceros. It was estimated that with the current state of deaths, they will overtake births in the next 4 years. We see fairly disturbing growth, the inabilities of governments to actually have enough money to have ranges, the kind of weaponry that the poachers have. We've got enough difficulties as it is without, as I say, giving encouragement to people to go out there further. And I think, as some people have also alluded to, there's also a very big question mark about how some of the younger animals are procured in the first place, whether there's deaths related to that along the way through. So I want to join with the speakers, commend what the member actually described as cruel and barbaric practices. Both he and the member for Fremantle in particular have talked about strengthening Australia's activity around CITES even further, whether it's by a permit system and the Minister being involved at the end of the road, or whether it's by widening what is not permitted. This is a very important resolution, and I'm pleased to see that on both sides of the Parliament, members are concerned with this practice.